The Beehive Fence. Anina had come for a sleepover with Biff. It was a warm summer evening, and Biff had a good idea. "Could Anina and I sleep outside in the tent tonight?" she asked. "We'll put it up." "All right," said Mom. "You may." The girls were putting sleeping bags in the tent when Biff began to flap her arms. "Dad, Dad, there's a bee in the tent." Biff began to swing her pillow at the bee. "Hey!" cried Anina. "Stop it! Keep still! Let me shoo it out." When everything was set up, Biff and Anina went indoors and made a picnic. They brought out drinks and sandwiches for all the family. It wasn't long before bees began to buzz round the food. "Oh no!" exclaimed Biff. "More bees!" Suddenly, there were hundreds of bees flying into the garden. "It's a swarm," said Dad. "We'd better go inside." Biff began to panic. "Oh, oh!" said Biff. "What if they fly into my hair?" "They won't," said Anina. "All the bees are following the queen bee. Once she settles somewhere, all the bees will cluster together." The bees began to form into a big ball on a branch of the apple tree. "That's amazing," said Chip. "But what happens to the swarm now it has settled?" "I'll phone my dad," said Anina. Anina's dad kept bees, so he knew what to do. He had his beekeeper suit and a large box. "They are honeybees," he said. "I'll take the swarm away and put it into a hive. Anina can help me." Anina put on her bee suit too. She held the box while her dad carefully eased the swarm into it. Biff watched through the kitchen window. "Now I see why Anina knows so much about bees," she thought. Before he went, Anina's dad spoke to Biff. "You must not be scared of bees," he said. "They are really useful. They carry pollen from one plant to another to help them produce crops. A lot of the food we eat is thanks to bees." "I'll try not to be scared," said Biff. Later on, Anina was in the tent and Biff went to her room to get a book. Anina's bee suit was lying on Biff's bed, so, for a joke, she put the suit on. "This will make Anina laugh," she thought. "Me wearing her bee suit." At that moment, the key began to glow. "Oh no!" cried Biff. "I don't want an adventure now. Not in this bee suit. It's sure to involve bees." But the key whisked her away. The key took Biff to Kenya in Africa. In front of her was a village. She felt very odd in the bee suit. She wondered why the key had brought her here. A boy and girl were coming towards her. When they saw Biff, they stopped. The girl set down her basket. "I am Karani," the boy said excitedly, and this is my sister Mukami. Have you brought the bees for us?" Before Biff had time to pull the hood off the bee suit, the boy and girl ran towards the first house. "Babu, Babu, the bee lady is here," they shouted. What can they mean? Thought Biff. An elderly man came out of the house. Soon, other people from the village crowded round Biff. Babu looked at Biff. "You look very young to be the bee lady," he said. "Do you have the hives?" Biff was confused. This was a strange adventure. She had no idea what to do or what to say. "Do you mean beehives?" she asked. "They raided our crops again last night," said Mukami. "They did such damage." We tried to keep the raiders out with sharp, thorny branches, but that hasn't stopped them," said Babu. "And we're afraid of them when they are all together. They trample or eat our crops of sweet potatoes and cabbages," said Mukami. "When they came last night," went on Babu, "we just shut our doors and hoped they would go away. That is why we need the hives. They are afraid of bees." Everyone looked eagerly at Biff. "We have made frames to hang the hives on," a man said. "So where are the bees?" Biff opened her mouth and shut it again. She had no bees. She didn't know why bees would keep raiders away. A truck drove up. A woman jumped out. "Sorry I'm late," she said. "My truck broke down and I had to borrow this one, but I have the hives at last." "We are so glad you are here," said Babu. "Your assistant came some time ago." The woman looked at Biff in surprise. "I didn't expect someone so young," she said. "Well, let's get the hive set up." Biff gasped in surprise. Not long ago, she had been afraid of a single bee. Now, she was about to help set up beehives. "My name is Mama Johari," the woman said to Biff. "Come on, we must work fast. It'll be dark soon. Help me unload the truck." The beehives were long wooden boxes. These had to be hung on the frames that the villagers had made. Biff helped Mama Johari carry the beehives to the frames and tie them on. Some bees flew out and buzzed round Biff's hood, but she was too busy to mind. Soon there was a beehive fence all round the villagers' fields. The sun went down and it grew dark. From not far off came a deep trumpeting sound. It was the call of elephants. "They are coming," breathed Mukami. Biff was astonished. Could the raiders be elephants? And were they afraid of bees? Then, out of the darkness, Biff could hear them. A whole herd of elephants. Mama Johari handed Biff her night vision binoculars. Biff looked through them and gasped. The elephants had reached the bee fence. They were led by a large female. Behind her came a large group of female elephants and 2 young ones. They stopped as if unsure of something. "What a sight!" breathed Biff. Mama Johari had fixed a wire between the beehives, joining them all together. The large female flapped her ears. She sensed the wire was there, and for a moment she stood quite still. "Let's see if she moves closer," said Mama Johari. Then the female walked into the wire. This made the nearest hives swing and bounce. The bees in the hives buzzed angrily. At once the elephants backed away. The large female raised her truck and trumpeted. Then the herd turned and walked away into the darkness. Biff was amazed. It was hard to believe that huge animals like these were scared of bees. Thanks to the bees, the villagers' crops had been saved. "The beehive fence has worked," said Mukami excitedly. She gave Biff a little gift. "I'm so glad," said Biff. She wanted to hug Mukami. At that moment, the key glowed. Back at home, Biff took the bee suit off. She was no longer afraid of bees, and she couldn't wait to tell Anina about the adventure. She picked up a book and ran out to the tent. "I know something about bees I bet you don't know," yawned Biff as soon as they were in bed. What's that? asked Nina. But Biff didn't reply. She was so tired after putting up the beehive fence, she had fallen fast asleep.